This week's Crime Watch takes us across the region, from a deadly collapse in Antigua to a human trafficking raid in Trinidad. And in Jamaica, a man stabbed inside a police station while filing a report. The stories are real, the stakes are high, and the truth has to be told. Welcome to KGN Caribbean News. I'm Karesha Graham. Here's what's making headlines in this week's Caribbean Crime Watch. A construction worker in Antigua has died after a section of a concrete wall came crashing down on him. A 43-year-old man from Bendals was reportedly doing work on a job site when a section of concrete gave way, tapping him beneath the rumble. The incident happened late Thursday afternoon, and despite the quick response from emergency teams, he was pronounced dead just hours later. Police have launched an investigation to find out exactly what went wrong. Officials are reminding crews across the island to follow all safety rules. A major human trafficking ring has been taken down in Tunapuna, Trinidad, following a raid that revealed disturbing details. Authorities stormed a house on St. Vincent Street and rescued nearly 20 people, including 12 young Venezuelan women, a teenage girl, and two babies. Some of the victims were immediately identified as trafficking survivors and are now receiving care. Officers also seized an illegal gun and a large sum of cash believed to be linked to the operation. The bus is part of a wider crackdown on trafficking networks as the government vows to ramp up efforts to protect vulnerable communities. A woman remains in custody after allegedly stabbing a man inside the Old Harbor Bay police station, an incident that's left many stunned given where it took place. It reportedly happened in April just as the man was filing a complaint against her. Despite police being present, the woman is accused of pulling a knife and attacking him on the spot. In court, her attorney argued for bail, saying her young daughter has been affected by the ordeal and claiming the man only wanted her to be warned. But the judge pushed back, pointing to the seriousness of the act, especially since it happened inside a police facility. She'll return to court in early July. A bank employee in Portmore, Jamaica, is now facing serious charges after allegedly stealing over 1.4 million Jamaican dollars from a customer's account. Police say the woman, a 41-year-old customer service representative, helped the man replace his bank card twice over the span of few weeks. But things took a turn when the customer's daughter noticed money missing. Investigators later discovered unauthorized withdrawals and the employee was arrested. She is now charged with larceny and is due in court next month. A man who was on the run in Barbados is now in police custody. Officers confirmed that 45-year-old Dwayne Big Dog Walcott was picked up on Friday after being listed as wanted. He's now assisting investigators as they dig deeper in the case. While police haven't shared details on the charges, they're crediting the public for helping to bring him in. Walcott's arrest marks another step in the island's push to get fugitives off the streets. And today's newscast is powered by luxury Glam Slay. So if you want your makeup, your hair, brows, or lashes on point, whether you're stepping out bold, bridal ready, or straight up boss babe vibes, Little One, the owner of Luxury Glam Slay, got you covered. Trust me, this is where the glam magic happens. Hit up the number on your screen to book your glow up or catch all the inspo on Instagram on your screen. Let's check the political heartbeat of the Caribbean in this week's Politics Pulse. The United States is cracking down on travelers using visas to give birth on American soil. Officials are warning that entering the country with the main purpose of delivering a baby, especially to gain citizenship, could lead to visa denials or future bans. U.S. travel policy is raising flags across the Caribbean, with reports of visa cancellations and tighter screening, particularly for countries like Haiti, Cuba, and Venezuela. The moves have sparked concern among regional leaders about fairness and transparency. The Prime Minister of St. Vincent is meeting with UK this week, hoping to reconnect with citizens abroad and update them on national priorities. It's a part of a push to strengthen the country's relationship with the diaspora, especially at a time when global partnerships are becoming more important for small island states. St. Kitts and Nevis just earned a seat at one of the world's most powerful tables, the United Nations General Assembly. The twin island nation has been appointed as a vice president for the upcoming session, giving it a louder voice in a major global discussions. That's not the only win for St. Kitts and Nevis. The country also secured a seat on the UN Economic and Social Council. That means they'll be helping shape global policies on poverty, education, and equality over the next few years. A big moment for such a small nation. Antigua and Barbuda is taking bold steps towards justice reform with a new bill that aims to wipe the state clean for people convicted of minor marijuana offenses. If passed, it would erase records for those caught with small amounts, less than 15 grams, giving many a fresh start years after the laws change. But the bill goes beyond cannabis. It also includes pardons for people who were charged during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic for breaking public health rules. The government says it's time to move on and make things right. And in a rare move, some inmates could be granted full pardons, not just for good behavior, but for their work in rebuilding homes for the poor under a special government program. Officials say those who have proven they've changed will get more than a second chance. They'll get a job. It's a sweeping plan that blends justice, compassion, and opportunity, and could signal a new era for how Antigua handles rehabilitation. Tensions between Trinidad and Venezuela are deepening, and now political voices at home are pushing back on how it's being handled. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Visesa recently declared the country's waters off limits to Venezuelan vessels, warning that the Coast Guard would use deadly force if any unauthorized boats cross the line. But that hardline stance isn't sitting well with some. Former Prime Minister Stuart Young is urging her to rethink the approach, warning that bold threats could do more harm than good when it comes to regional relationships. And former National Security Minister Gary Griffith is adding his voice to the debate, pointing out that Trinidad simply doesn't have the firepower to back up such confrontation. He is calling for diplomacy, not escalation. With energy projects still in motion between the two nations, leaders are being urged to cool things down and turn to diplomacy before the situation escalates. Meanwhile, Guyana has scored a major win in its long-standing dispute with Venezuela. The International Court of Justice has ordered Caracas to stop plans for elections in the contested Essequibo region. President Ali says the decision affirms Guyana's rightful claim and sends a clear message that international law must be respected. Grenada's prime minister says his government isn't in a hurry to change the constitution, at least not when it comes to term limits to removing the British monarchy. He says the focus now is on development, not referendums, especially since past efforts to reform the Constitution didn't get much public support. Barbados has officially added a new name to its High Court bench. Danabab Agard, the island's first female director of public prosecutions, has been sworn in as a justice of the High Court. The ceremony took place at State House with President Dame Sandra Mason overseeing the official appointment. Bab Agard's legal career spans more than 3 decades, making this a major milestone in her professional journey and a significant moment for representation within the country's justice system. Politics isn't just for politicians, it affects everyone. Keep watching KGN Caribbean News for the latest events as it unfolds across the region. Across the Caribbean, health remains a priority as islands face unique challenges and celebrate progress. Barbados is getting ahead of climate threats by threatening its health system. Leaders just wrapped a 2 day session focused on preparing hospitals and clinics to handle extreme weather. It's all part of a national climate health strategy to protect vulnerable communities. Officials say it's no longer about reacting, it's about building resilience before disasters hit. Big changes are coming to healthcare in St. Kitts. The main hospital is expanding its emergency department this month, and a new specialist is expected to join the team. With more patients on growing demand, health leaders say this upgrade couldn't come at a better time. It's the first of several planned improvements. 10 community clinics across Antigua and Barbuda are set for major upgrades. Thanks to a new 10 million climate grant, the facility will be modernized to better serve families, especially in rural areas. The project is about more than infrastructure, it's about closing health gaps and building smarter, more sustainable care. More than 20 health centers across Jamaica have gotten a much needed facelift. Under Operation Refresh, clinics are being upgraded with new equipment, fresh paint, and improved patient spaces. Health officials say the globe Health officials say the goal is to improve access and dignity in care starting from the ground up. In Trinidad, health officials are sounding the alarm on heart disease. New numbers show it's still the leading cause of death, with 1 in 3 fatalities linked to cardiovascular issues. The minister is urging people to take prevention seriously, from diet and exercise to regular checkups. Grenada's Ministry of Mental Health and Wellness has moved to a new space in St. George. Officials say the relocation will help improve service delivery and provide easier access for residents. It's part of the larger push to prioritize mental health on the island. St. Vincent is turning the spotlight on student nutrition. A new campaign called Savor the Flavor is teaching kids how to eat smarter and live healthier. It's more than a food drive, it's part of a long term effort to tackle chronic disease through education. St. Lucia is watching the rise of a new COVID variant, NB1.81. While there's no cause for panic, health leaders are reminding the public to stay cautious, especially those with pre existing conditions. Officials say the variant hasn't caused a spike yet, but they're staying ready just in case. This segment of KGN Caribbean News is sponsored by Belam Natural Skincare, a real Jamaican brand born from the founder's own skin struggles. If you're tired of dark spots, dry patches, or uneven skin tone, these handmade soaps could be your new best friend. They've got some killer combos like kojic acid with vitamin C, turmeric and sea moss, honey, and oats, all natural, all effective. Plus, they ship all across Jamaica and here's the catch, they also ship internationally. So no matter where you are, you can get in on the glow. Order through the Instagram on your screen or WhatsApp the phone number, which is on your screen as well. Your skin, I go thank you. Take care of your skin, people. Here's what's happening in the Caribbean economy with this week's Island Market Watch. Barbados is strengthening its economic position on the world stage. On June 4th, officials joined WTO talks to push regional trade priorities. Just days earlier, the Financial Service Commission launched a new consultation aimed at modernizing its insurance sector. And with 180 million Africa trade century in the works, the island is signaling it's open for business and looking outward. There's more money coming to Jamaicans' pocket this month. The national minimum wage officially climbed to 16,000 Jamaican dollars a week on June 1st. At the same time, economic planners are forecasting up to 1.5% growth for this quarter, driven by gains in agriculture, tourism, and small businesses. As work begins on the Port Antonio bypass, Jamaica's economy is showing a slow but steady motion. Trinidad and Tobago is making moves on two fronts. A brand new e-commerce strategy is now in play, aiming to give local businesses a digital edge to 2030. And just last week, government leaders doubled down on their trade ties with the Dominican Republic, eyeing more cross-border growth. It's all part of a push to close gaps in trade and tech. It's another record setting month for Guyana, with its economic project to grow 14% a year over the next 5 years. The oil boom shows no sign of slowing down, but it's not just offshore success. Guyana is now more connected than ever, with KLM's first direct flight from Amsterdam touching down on June 4th. Leaders say it's a new gateway for global trade and investment. Anguilla is laying the groundwork for stronger financial oversight. The island's Financial Service Commission just released its 2025 to 2027 strategy focused on growing a more diverse and stable economy. It's a key step for a small island nation betting on regulation, transparency, and long term resilience. Welcome to the KGN Sports Zone, where island athletes shine. Jamaica's Reggae Girls stepped into a tough test last week, facing the world-ranked U.S. women's team in friendly in St. Louis. The American squad dominated early, forcing the Jamaican defense into high gear. Despite the 4-0 final score, young keeper Leia Brooks made a string of crucial saves, showing flashes of brilliance under pressure. For the Reggae Girls, it's less about the scoreboard and more about building chemistry ahead of a packed international schedule. It was a packed house in Port of Spain as the Soca Warriors stormed the pitch for their World Cup opener. St. Kitts held them 2-2 at halftime, but the second half was all Trinidad. Dante Seeley made a statement on debut, scoring twice, and veterans like Levi Garcia and Kevin Molino added their names to the scoreboard. With a final score of 6-2, Trinidad now leads their group and sets the tone for what could be a serious qualifying run. Antigua's sprint queen Jola Lloyd is making waves once again, this time with a brand new national record. She clocked 11.1 seconds in the 100-meter dash at an NCAA qualifier in Florida. That time places her among the fastest in the region. For Lloyd, it's more than a personal best, it's a statement that Antigua's athletes are running with best in the world. Grenada will take center stage in 2026 at the island as the island prepares to host the Carifta Games once again. The event brings together top junior athletes from across the Caribbean, and will mark Grenada's second time hosting in just 3 years. Local officials say it's a major win for sports tourism and a chance to showcase the court's growing strength in track and field. Planning is already underway to make it a game to remember. Barbadian horse trainer Safi Joseph Jr. is galloping into the spotlight with a huge win at California's Hollywood Gold Cup. His thoroughbred skip along stocking crossed the finish line in the high stakes race, cementing Joseph's name as one of the top Caribbean figures in international racing. The win comes after a rocky year for the trainer, and this latest title proves he is back in full stride. Guyana's U20 women's football squad took a tough hit in their latest match at the CONCACAF Championship, falling 9-0 to Costa Rica. It's a disappointing result, but coaches say the team remains focused on development with a young rooster still finding their rhythm. The goal is to learn fast and come back stronger. Despite the loss, these players are getting valuable minutes on the international stage. St. Lucia is making history on the world stage. Dylan Paul just became the first ever St. Lucian to graduate from Harvard Business School. His achievement isn't just personal, it's national. Paul is now a symbol of what's possible for young Caribbean professionals aiming for the top. We'll be sharing more of Dylan's journey and what this moment means for the region in our next episode right here on KGN Caribbean News. And now for entertainment section. Now, Sizzla Kalanja is pushing back hard against claims that he wanted the same payout as Vibes Cartel to perform in Trinidad. The reggae veteran says that's simply not the truth and that all he asked for was deposit outlined in his contract. He says only a small portion was paid, and after hours of waiting, no one from the festival delivered the rest. Now, instead of taking the stage at the event, Sizzla geared up for his own headlining show in Port of Spain last weekend. Dancehall artist Panatamin Boss is shaking things up with his new track Wagwan. The song isn't just your usual party anthem, it goes straight at uncomfortable truths, calling out older men, targeting young girls, and the silence that surrounds it. It's raw, unapologetic, and it got people talking. Some say he's brave for speaking out, others say he went too far. Either way, Wagwan isn't just a song, it's starting a firestorm online. Reggae powerhouse Queen Ifrica is getting her flowers, this time through a powerful portrait now on display at VP Records Cultural Center in Queens. Captured by Jamaican born photographer Marlon Ajama Myri during a live set. The black and white image shows the artist in her element, focused, fierce, and fully present. The photo now joins a collection honoring Caribbean music legends, cementing Africa's place in reggae history, and not just through sound but through striking visuals. Dancehall heavyweight Sean Paul is stepping into the fashion game, teaming up with streetwear giant Crooks and Castles for a bold new merch line. The exclusive drop features tees and hoodies that blend street style with Caribbean pride, complete with graphics inspired by Sean's lyrics and Jamaican roots. The limited edition pieces just launched online and will be available at select retailers and on tour. It's more than merch, it's a tribute to dancehall culture designed for fans who live the lifestyle. And KGN hit the road to cover opening night of the Caribbean Film Festival in Washington, D.C. We spoke with the cast of Panas and even met the director of a new steel pan program at a United States university. Catch the full feature now on our YouTube channel. That's it for this week's edition of KGN Caribbean News. I'm Karesha Graham. See you next week right here where vibes meets truth and every island will eventually get the spotlight.